Some ideas Japan has come up with are so clever that the moment you encounter them, you immediately wonder why the rest of the world hasn't caught on. Ramen that heats itself to the perfect temperature using a clever mechanism built into the packaging. An upside-down train that runs beneath its own track, leaving the streets below completely untouched. An ice cream made so well it doesn't even melt in direct sunlight, which sounds impossible until you see it happening in real time. Japan doesn't just come up with better ideas. It implements them so thoroughly that going back to the way everyone else does it starts to feel like a step backwards. Today, we're counting down 15 Japanese ideas so smart they should be global. Watch until the end because number 15, a KFC buffet that Japan somehow made a reality, is something the rest of the world deserves to experience immediately. Number 1. Self-heating ramen. Japan produces self-heating ramen packaging that warms a full bowl of noodles to eating temperature using a chemical reaction built into the base of the container. No microwave, no stove, no hot water required. You pull a tab at the bottom of the package. A reaction between quicklime and water generates heat that travels upward through the container, warming the broth and noodles from below. Within minutes, the ramen is steaming hot and ready to eat wherever you happen to be. It's the same mechanism used in self-heating bento boxes, but applied to a full bowl of ramen, broth included. The result is a hot, properly prepared meal that you can eat on a hiking trail, at a desk, in a car, or anywhere else that has no cooking infrastructure at all. Japan took one of its most beloved foods and made it available anywhere on Earth with nothing but the packaging it came in. That's not a convenience product. That's an engineering decision. Number 2. Japan's upside-down train. The Chiba Urban Monorail in Japan is the longest suspended monorail system in the world, and it works in a way that's immediately surprising the first time you see it. The train hangs beneath its own track rather than sitting on top of it, running upside down relative to every other rail system in the world. The suspended design means the track can be installed above existing streets without taking up road space below. The city continues normally underneath. Traffic moves, pedestrians walk. The train passes overhead without any of the ground-level infrastructure that a conventional rail system requires. The system has been operating since 1979 and carries tens of millions of passengers annually across 2 lines running through central Chiba. It's fully integrated into the city's public transit network and operates with the same punctuality and reliability as every other train in Japan. Japan built a train that runs upside down above a functioning city, and it's been quietly working perfectly for over 4 decades. Number 3. Ice cream that doesn't melt. Japan produces an ice cream that simply doesn't melt, and the reason it works is surprisingly straightforward. The technology came from an unexpected source. Following the 2011 earthquake and tsunami, a researcher discovered that strawberry polyphenols extracted from fruit affected by the disaster caused cream to resist melting when incorporated into the mixture. The mechanism was studied, refined, and applied commercially. The result is an ice cream that maintains its form in conditions that would turn a standard soft serve into a liquid within minutes. Vendors demonstrate it at room temperature. Customers eat it outdoors without racing the summer heat. It's not a gimmick. It tastes like regular ice cream, looks like regular ice cream, but refuses to behave like one. Japan found a fix for one of the most universally accepted frustrations of eating ice cream, and the rest of the world hasn't caught up yet. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever, everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even cooler. Number 4. Mobile supermarket trucks for local residents. Japan operates a network of mobile supermarket trucks that travel fixed routes through residential neighborhoods on scheduled days, bringing a curated selection of fresh food, groceries, and daily essentials directly to areas where supermarkets are either too far to walk to or too difficult to reach for elderly or less mobile residents. The trucks are stocked with fresh vegetables, meat, dairy, prepared foods, and household products. Residents know the schedule, meet the truck at their nearest stop, and shop from the vehicle the same way they'd shop in a store. Japan's rural population is aging rapidly, and the distance between elderly residents and the nearest grocery store has become a genuine welfare issue in many prefectures. The mobile supermarket closes that gap without requiring the resident to travel, drive, or rely on someone else to shop for them. It's a grocery store that comes to you. Japan recognized that the problem wasn't the shopping itself, it was the distance, and moved the store instead. Number 5. Silicone shoe covers. Japanese silicone shoe covers are reusable waterproof overshoes that slip over any footwear and protect them completely from rain, puddles, mud, and wet surfaces, fitting tightly enough to stay in place during normal walking, without slipping or bunching. You keep a pair in your bag. When it starts raining or you encounter wet ground, you pull them over your shoes in seconds. When you're back on dry ground, you peel them off, wipe them down, fold them flat, and they go back in your bag. They're not disposable, they don't wear out quickly. They're made from a material that stretches to fit almost any shoe size and returns to shape after use. The waterproofing is complete rather than partial. Most people manage wet weather by either ruining their shoes, wearing dedicated rain boots and changing on arrival, or avoiding the rain entirely. Japan made a product that fits in a jacket pocket and removes the problem completely without requiring any of those compromises. Number 6. Edible coffee cups. Japan produces coffee cups made entirely from edible wafer material that you drink from normally and then eat when you're finished, eliminating the disposable cup entirely at the point of consumption rather than at the recycling facility. The wafer is coated on the inside with a layer of white chocolate or flavored icing that insulates it from the heat of the coffee, long enough to drink the full cup without the material softening or leaking. By the time the coffee is gone, the cup has absorbed some of the warmth and flavor of the drink, making the final bite genuinely good rather than just functional. No lid, no sleeve, no takeaway cup, going into a bin 30 seconds after it was handed over. The entire thing is consumed. Japan found the version of the disposable coffee cup that produces zero waste, not by changing how the cup is disposed of, but by making the cup the last part of the coffee experience rather than the first thing you throw away. Number 7. Ramen vending machines that cook to order. Japan operates ramen vending machines that don't just dispense a pre-made product. They cook a full bowl of ramen from raw components to finished dish inside the machine and dispense it hot in under a minute. The machine stores noodles, broth, and toppings in separate temperature-controlled compartments. You select your order at the touchscreen, the machine combines the components, applies heat, and a fully assembled hot bowl of ramen comes out through the collection port. It's not a reheated frozen product. It's a cooked bowl assembled and finished to order inside a machine on a pavement. The broth is hot. The noodles are cooked. The toppings are in position. Japan's ramen culture takes the food seriously enough that even the automated version produces a result worth eating. The machines are positioned outside popular ramen restaurants after closing hours so customers can eat that restaurant's recipe at any time of day or night without the kitchen being staffed. Number 8. Compressed tablet towels in restaurants. Japanese restaurants serve compressed tablet towels that arrive at the table as a small solid disc and expand into a full-sized wet towel when a few drops of water are added, providing a fresh hand towel for every customer from a product the size of a large coin. You place the tablet in the small dish it arrives in, add a little water, and within seconds it expands into a usable towel. Hot water produces a warm towel. Cold water produces a cooling one. The towel is thick enough to be genuinely useful rather than a gesture toward hygiene. The compression means storage, transport, and distribution are all a fraction of what a conventional rolled towel requires. A box of tablets takes up the same space as a single stack of conventional towels and serves many times the number of customers. Japan made the restaurant hand towel smarter, cheaper to distribute, and more hygienic by turning it into something that only becomes a towel at the moment it's needed. Number 9. Edible water balls made from seaweed. Japan produces drinking water contained within a thin, biodegradable membrane made from seaweed extract, forming small transparent spheres that you place in your mouth whole and bite through to release the water inside. The membrane is derived from sodium alginate, a natural compound extracted from seaweed, and is completely edible and digestible. It's also biodegradable in the conventional sense, breaking down naturally if not consumed, rather than persisting in the environment the way plastic packaging does. Each sphere contains a single mouthful of water. They're used at athletic events, hydration stations, and as an alternative to single-serve plastic water bottles, in situations where a small amount of water is needed rather than a full bottle. Japan didn't set out to make a novelty product. It set out to find an alternative to single-use plastic water packaging that was genuinely biodegradable at the material level, rather than just labeled as environmentally friendly. The result is water you eat rather than drink from a container. Number 10. Floating solar panel farms on reservoirs. Japan developed floating solar panel installations that sit on the surface of water reservoirs, generating electricity from the panels above, while simultaneously reducing water evaporation from the reservoir below. The panels are mounted on buoyant platforms anchored to the reservoir floor. They move slightly with the water surface and are engineered to withstand the wind and weather exposure of an open water environment. The water beneath the panel stays cooler than exposed reservoir surfaces, which reduces evaporation and in some cases improves the efficiency of the panels themselves compared to ground-mounted systems operating in direct heat. Japan developed the technology partly because available flat land for large-scale solar installation is genuinely scarce in a country where mountains cover most of the terrain. Reservoirs offered surface area that was already cleared, already managed, and already connected to infrastructure. The solution uses a surface that was doing one job and makes it do two. Japan identified unused surface area above water and put solar panels on it. The logic is straightforward. The engineering to make it work took considerably longer. Number 11. Cool Biz Summer Dress Code. In 2005, Japan's government launched the Cool Biz Initiative, an officially endorsed summer dress code policy that permitted and encouraged office workers to remove their ties and jackets during summer months, allowing air conditioning in government buildings and corporate offices to be set at 28 degrees Celsius, rather than the lower temperatures previously required to keep formally dressed workers comfortable. The energy saving across Japan's office sector from the temperature adjustment alone was significant and measurable, reducing air conditioning demand across millions of square meters of office space by even a few degrees produces national energy savings that justify the policy purely on those numbers. The dress code also produced a cultural shift in what professional presentation means in Japanese offices during summer, with open collar shirts and lighter fabrics becoming accepted and expected rather than requiring individual negotiation with a manager. Japan changed what people wear to work, raised the thermostat, reduced national energy consumption, and made summer in an office genuinely more comfortable. One policy, multiple outcomes, no cost to implement. Number 12. Honko Stamps that prevent forgery. Japan's Honko system is a personal seal used in place of a handwritten signature on official documents, contracts, bank transactions, and legal paperwork, with each seal registered to a specific individual and legally equivalent to a signature for the purposes of authentication. A registered Honko is carved with the owner's name in a specific font and style, registered at the municipal office, and the impression it produces is unique to that individual's registered seal. Forgery requires not just copying the design but matching the exact dimensions, depth, and material of the original, which is significantly more difficult to replicate than a handwritten signature. The seal impression is compared against the registered record for high-value transactions, providing a verification layer that a signature alone doesn't offer. Japan built a personal authentication system into a physical object centuries before digital verification existed, and it's still in active legal use today, because the security it provides through physical uniqueness hasn't been rendered obsolete by anything simpler. Number 13. Heated toilet seats as standard. Japan's heated toilet seats are so standard across the country that encountering a cold seat in a public restroom is the exception rather than the rule. They're in convenience stores, train stations, restaurants, offices, and parks, not as a premium feature, as the baseline. The seat warms to a preset temperature and maintains it passively. You sit down and it's warm. In winter, in a cold bathroom before you've fully woken up, that single sensory detail changes the entire experience of using a toilet in a way that's difficult to explain until you've experienced it and then had to go back to a cold seat. Most washlet seats also include bidet functions, heated air drying, deodorizers, and ambient sound. But it's the heated seat that people remember first and miss most when they leave Japan. It costs almost nothing to run. It requires no behavior change from the user. Japan made it standard because there's genuinely no good reason for a toilet seat to be cold. Number 14. Transparent garbage bags required by law. Certain municipalities across Japan legally require household rubbish to be placed in transparent or semi-transparent bags for collection, making the contents visible to collection staff and neighbors before the bag is ever opened. The requirement works as a passive compliance mechanism. If your rubbish is correctly sorted, the transparent bag confirms it at a glance. If it isn't, the incorrect sorting is immediately visible to anyone who looks. The social pressure of visible, incorrect sorting in a culture where community standards are taken seriously is sufficient to keep compliance rates extremely high without requiring enforcement officers to inspect individual bags. It also speeds up the collection process. Staff can identify incorrectly sorted bags and leave them for correction without opening them. Correct bags are collected without inspection. Japan found a way to make waste sorting compliance self-enforcing using a bag. The transparency does the work that an inspector would otherwise need to do manually at every household on every collection day. Number 15. KFC Buffet in Japan. Japan operates KFC Buffet restaurants where customers pay a flat fee and eat unlimited fried chicken, sides, and desserts for a set time period. And it's as straightforward and as good as it sounds. KFC in Japan has occupied a unique cultural position since the 1970s, when a marketing campaign successfully positioned it as the default Christmas dinner for Japanese families, a tradition that continues today with pre-orders placed weeks in advance. The brand's elevated status in Japan compared to its positioning elsewhere created the conditions for a premium buffet format that would be difficult to justify in markets where KFC is considered everyday fast food. The buffet includes the full menu, unlimited original recipe chicken, sides, biscuits, and seasonal items for a fixed price with a time limit. Japan took a global fast food chain, elevated its cultural status, and created a dining format around it that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. The chicken is the same. Everything else about the experience is uniquely Japanese. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe. And make sure to watch the video on your end screen, it's packed with even more genius things.